Alright, we're going to take another look at my big deck. This is Dark Devil.
Target acquired.
Okay, let me whip that out for you, right? Over here, actually. So, the idea is the Horde deck. Lots and lots of bodies. Basically, it's almost less strategy than taking everything you got and flinging at the wall, seeing if something sticks. But the point of it is, as many bodies as you can get out into the field as cheaply as you can. Back at Magic, Goblin decks were pretty notorious for this sort of thing. There were certain Thrall decks, things like that worked really well because it was just pumping out different things with different functions at low cost. Now, unfortunately, the card system in this game doesn't have a lot of interlocking natural enhancements of abilities. For instance, there isn't a medical card that will attach to something else and make it last longer or whatever. But here we go. I believe some of the best success of any of these decks happens, though, from when you join a group and trade with your people. They keep explaining this at the beginning. Here's your handy tips. And I have a feeling people aren't listening. Now, part of my little Horde deck here is going to make use of the half track. Why? Because it comes up, it does the direct damage, and then people pop out. So it's part of the swarm. If you take a look, I think we get some good action out of this one right here, and then of course that happens. Part of the swarm I'm using is also making use of the barracks. I'm going to show you what happens when you basically make an all-building deck in a later video, because that, my friends, is the basis of the old Thallid shooter deck from Magic. Beautiful, beautiful deck. I mean, it was a star. But something happens right about here in this battle that makes me really... it chokes me up a little bit. I feel somewhat acknowledged. Thanks. Thanks for helping me show myself, buddy. Anyway, so he's off to Death City. Hoorah! We're going to go into the 1 minute fast time mode here, and that's part of the game that, if you get to my other series on strategy, is a really important facet of this game. The fact that it's in here, I love it. Double command points, because I'll tell you what, this is where the game gets to be really souped up on a lot of things, but there are certain times when I have everything working just right. Something like this is silly. That was a bad call on my part, by the way. Half track does not go through a crowd. I don't know why I keep insisting on trying to do it. There we go. Wait for the plane to go by and bring on the men. And I'll tell you what, these men are brilliant. They're like a little wrecking crew. Love them, love them, love them. And in truth, even if you get your win 1 star at a time, yeah, it's going to be a lot of battles, they're worth having. But in this particular case, well, sometimes I get a little lucky. That was just a waste on his part. Like, that wasn't well thought out. But you see the men that popped out and the rest of the Horde joined in. It worked. So I'm looking through it again. You know, I'm thinking, what kind of things do I want in the Horde deck? And when you're making a swarm, you know, obviously the more bodies the better. I'm looking through because I want this to be kind of the perfect swarm, if you will. and I'm toying with certain things like, well, maybe I want, big cannon, or in this case, this is the hard one, because what I was really looking for is a character that had a good defensive run to it. What I did do, however, was actually took a different variant on the swarm, and I threw the paratroopers in. So here is the swarm's most effective point. When you're using it, your defense is your offense. And that is really a key point. It's kind of a passive-aggressive thing. But it does work. Check it out. There goes Flame Boy. Maybe I want to do that. Here they come. Slip in behind them. Guns them all down. Turns around and makes more pain. One problem with some of these decks I'm creating is without the direct damage, they do have some issues. Now the half-track was there. Holy crap, I forgot about this. This is my first encounter with the new tank. I was like, oh my god, what do I do? Yeah, I don't remember screwing up Gilbert Winfrey, and that part I had no clue. I did not know that was coming at all. If you haven't faced the new flame tank yet, it explodes. It is a colossal pain in the... Oh look, paratroopers. Yeah, we'll talk about them instead. Yes, the half-track is a tremendous pain. Or not the half-track, the flame tank. Now here's something I want you to see here. This guy is level 9 to my level 7. Point-wise, he's about the same as I am. So I'm like looking and thinking, oh crap, dude. You should have totally had me like a minute ago. And one of my things down. So, I mean, this guy, I feel like a little embarrassed that he's doing so well against me. And then I looked and I'm like, holy cow. I feel a little mismatched. I don't think my guys got the proper chance to really do their thing. Turns out, strangely, the machine gun master was pretty cool. At this point, though, I'm just going to be happy to get a point off the Like, when you're level 9 against level 7, it's just... it hurts to beat the level 7 sometimes. I actually do win against level 9s with the certain level of frequency. I have to think to myself, why isn't this guy, higher? But the time of the battle was not this time. I couldn't pull it out. I did at least keep it down to one star. And sometimes that's the best you can do. There's that flame tank again. Like, oh man. I have no flame tank. Why don't I have a flame tank? I want a flame tank. Can you make this happen for me? Oy. There's all my little locked crates waiting, and I'm hoping to get my big crate, so that's one of the things I'm working on in this battle. But I'd have to say, if you want to give us a swarm deck a shot, swarm decks work pretty good. And obviously, if you throw in unadvanced cards, you're not going to do as well. And the advancements work pretty simply. They're straightforward. You go and you pick up a group of people, like in my case the Savages. They're usually full because they're usually good. Then they also insist on trading. Get a group that's active that way, and your cards will advance. Now, here's the thing. You have to give to make this happen properly. But when you give, you get extra goods. You get extra experience. You know, when you give till it hurts, it doesn't really actually hurt. So, certainly advance your cards. Usually speaking, that is by way, of course, give. Now, this battle actually panned out. I got a lot of great use out of that battle torpedo. Those paratroopers, they just were the bomb. Okay, they weren't a bomb, but their damage was pretty direct and very fortunate and needed. And I'm kind of waiting this guy out because we're coming up into the double command points, and I'm thinking I can pull it out of here. Now I'm in sad shape here. I got 489, I think, on my battleship. Again, my battleship is something on this. Is this potential? Holy cow, look at that. Look at that. I can pull it off. I can do it. I can do it. Yeah. Here she comes. Yeah, these double command points. Got two of them. Will I make it? Will I make it? Can I hold it for 24 seconds? This was great. I love that. One of those little things that you always have to watch out for strategy. Make sure you put your guys on the other side of the flame. But it worked to my advantage. I'm not going to pull the biggest one on this, but I pulled the win out. And that's what the goal of these decks are. So I hope this helped you, but not against me. Goats out there, fans. Goats.
Look, boy, you in the danger room.